Welcome. This is Hollywood in Hollywild Radio. Wow, it's crazy in our world right now. There is so much going on, I just can't believe it sometimes. I mean, I've never seen anything like it before, and I've seen a lot. I've been noticing how ugly our country has gotten in the last dozen years. It's uglier than it was in the 60s and 70s during the Vietnam War, and even uglier than our misguided and insanely expensive Iraq War. It's got this Nazi vibe going on with racism and fascism blatantly promoted on TV like it was acceptable, and it isn't. You know, I have family that died fighting fascism last century. There can be no voice for fascism, ever. Fascism wants to destroy everything, including itself. There is no upside, even for the people that believe in it. You know, everyone dies in the end and the world burns. That was as obvious as the nose on your face for anyone who has seen a world war. In spite of how bad it looks, the hope that is the backbone of our country is still strong, because it's made up of all of us. It's possible that hope might never die. But if we don't all start acting smarter as individuals, we could certainly lose it through selfishness. You know, hope is light. It's easy to pick up, but it's hard to carry. Hope will outlast us all and never dies. Hope is unaffected by death or stops and starts. It's stronger than steel or gravity. That's why we need hope. It's a superpower. Whether you live in the country or the city, on a road or in a tent, we all know what's right and wrong, what being respectful is and means. You know, we all agree on certain basic things, and that's all that's at stake here. You know, 99% of this country is only asking for basics. And there is a way to get all the basics, and it won't break the budget. You know, we spend nearly 60 cents of every tax dollar on war stuff that we never use or shouldn't use. And the basics for everyone would be about 20 cents from every tax dollar. You know, we don't need the ultra-rich and their taxes that they escape. Just 20 cents of all of our dollars that we put in, spent wisely on the American people, could change the world. Take a minute to just behold that thought, to change the world. You know, I've heard my whole life one human can change the world. And I think we got it wrong in some translation. I think it was probably more like all humans change the world. I mean, we all do. Every single one of us. And we all only do just the one, us. The answer is marching. I know, but it connects. Allow me to share and elucidate. Back to my bit about us all being basically similar, we all want certain basic things, you know. We know they're not free, and we don't mind working for a better life for our families and friends, you know, like dignified housing, healthcare, education, freedom of expression, and speech, right? We're all on the same page. We're all American. That hasn't changed. It doesn't matter where we came from. It's about now and who we are now. You know, everyone in this country is American, and we all came from somewhere else. I mean, technically, if you're not part of the Indian nations, you're from somewhere else, so you're not really American. We're what we call ourselves now, Americans. Technically speaking, the only true American people are the indigenous Indian nations. It's complicated, but if we stick to science, it's fair and solvable, and there is a way for everyone to sit at the table. The catch is, we have to share. And it's not a catch. It's more like a mega bonus. That's what taxes are all about. You know, flash jump with me to how powerful marches have been in the past, even in the recent past, like the Me Too and the school shootings marches. Have you noticed the way the government cowers and or denies when we all come outside and march? And how quiet and dumbfounded the TV news press becomes. As though no one ever expected it. It's like, oh my gosh. When the masses come together as one, we are more powerful than any army. And now, with modern technology, we can connect with every part of the masses across the globe in seconds. People can no longer hide or lie without being discovered and exposed. Our system is slow, but very sound. The bottom line, the masses are more powerful now than any other time in history. I should also note that we only have power when we join forces. I mean, it's simple. A drop of water isn't going to stop a fire or quench a thirst. But if you got a bunch of drops together, you start to have some power. Enough drops, you can grow food. And that is real power. An ocean is an unimaginable amount of single drops of water. What on earth can stand against the oceans? Nothing stands against that many drops of water. Nothing. Look at us all like we're drops of water that agree our combined taxes should pay for, education, housing, opportunity, health, and infrastructure. And then we all marched at really inconvenient times. No one would miss anything because we're all at the march, hanging out, making friends, catching up with families. Like a holiday, really. I bet after a month with 7 or 8 marches, world leaders would do an about-face and serve the people instead of using them to make $1. They freak while we just have a day outside. It's mean and cruel how we're being crushed financially right now, overworked and underpaid, and we can make change by having days of marching, focusing on one change at a time. There is a catch. We'd all have to agree to do it. Repeatedly. Everyone. For perhaps as long as, a war would take. Relentless and without anger, just steadfast and happy with no malice. Days at the park when we shut down everything and show our solidarity. This tactic pattern works everywhere throughout the universe. Heck, it's how we evolved. And it never doesn't work. We'd have to do it at inconvenient times and inconvenient days, particularly those interfering with commerce and making money. We could pack lunch and do neighborhood potlucks, and everyone eats. I'm not saying stop all traffic, just anything non-emergency. If we really had it together, we could plan to let emergency vehicles through areas of people marching quickly, like a sea parting and then closing again. Basic teamwork. We'd have people directing crowds, and we'd all have to remain alert and aware until we all sat down and had our lunch. If we marched smart, we wouldn't be a mob. We'd be powerful. And the loudest voice. All governments would listen and change. After a month or 2 of marches, they'd realize being fair is cheaper, and for them, more profitable. The rich know a marching ocean will end their world, and really, who cares? It's a crummy world. Look at it. 99% of us agree their world sucks. Marching can get us back to basics, and it is a solvable logistics and communication feat easily accomplished by word of mouth, which, as we all know, spreads like fire. Imagine if we marched against war as a world. We could stop it. That's my goal. And that's our show. I'm just kidding. On today's show, we'll be talking to Samantha Dunn, an executive editor, writer, mom, and rancher. We'll talk about all kinds of things like competition, sharing, and horses. And we'll also talk to Eric about music he's created with vocalist Jess Furman. And we'll hear 4 songs they worked on with her magical voice. Today is all about cool women on the show. And also later on, we'll play with copy in the theater of my mind. This is Hollywood in Hollywild Radio, broadcast from the dreamy Sierra Nevada at about 2,350 feet elevation when I stand tall like the great heritage oak in front of my humble house. Don't wander off. There's coyotes and lions. Eric is my bud, my bro, my brother. You know, we both do the same things. He does one better than I can, and I kind of do one better than him. So we share a lot. But today, we're going to share and talk about this amazing vocalist-songwriter he worked with, Jess Furman, and why she was so great to make music with, and talk about the songs that they worked on together. This is Hollywood in Hollywild Radio. And this is the part of our show where we do our talk about music with my good friend Eric Skirmhorn. Eric, how are you today?
Good, man. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How was your week so far?
Excellent. Just been busy working, you know, like you.
Yeah. Yes. Too much work, not enough play. But speaking of play, we're going to give play to a very, very talented lady, Jess Furman, and you worked with Jess on this project that we're going to listen to. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's funny. The buddy I work with, Pete Min, great producer in Los Angeles, friend of mine from New York, guitar player, just like me. We wrote together for years in New York, and then out here in L.A. we'd meet singers, and like that stuff you listened to the other day with Aiden singing, like just different projects we'd work on. And we met Jess, sat down with her, and just wrote like 5 songs really fast and worked on them. I mean, not super, really fast, but fast. It had momentum. It had momentum. We're like, wow, this girl can sing. Great lyrics. Great voice. And we just wrote 5 tunes, did an EP at Pete's studio. I think we were in Eagle Rock at that point. His studio. He's still in Eagle Rock, his studio, but he moved. And with Jess, she wrote the lyrics and the melodies, vocal
She's
melodies.
So talented.
Yeah, and we did most of it on guitar, just playing guitar with her. And one track has a great string arrangement, which I love.
Right.
I love. So which you're going to play. And that, so we got a live string section, which was wonderful. You know, you do that. Some tunes, you write them and you're like, oh, wouldn't it be great? You know, you can use samples and synths and all that, and it works generally.
Right. Yeah.
But to get the real deal is, you know,
that's true.
A quartet, and you mic them up, and it just sounds beautiful. So that, and we got a couple of them into, you know, because her motivation was, you know, she does gigs, and sometimes she has a band, sometimes she doesn't have a band. A lot of times artists have bands, sometimes they just do solo stuff, but she got it out. The move is you get music to publishers and to people who do for TV, and they ended up a couple tunes in TV, a lot of TV stuff, which is cool. That's not like, that's a one way musicians now can make money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's so cool.
Yeah.
And you get the exposure into that particular market niche, who watches that show.
Yeah, and you can. It's so tough now. I know, like streaming and Spotify is actually starting to pay people money. People are starting to see money from their.
Well, that's
millions of plays.
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, millions of plays, but that's a little bit whack. But it's at least there's some money that's coming back to the artist, right?
Finally, it's finally turning. I think people from what
So
CD sales are done, all that iTunes, all the digital stuff, and it's really hard to make money on your music. So you have to get in film and TV, or you have to TV commercial. That's the only way. Or tour incessantly and sell T-shirts.
Yeah. You have to be on tour. You have to be playing someplace all the time and making some cheddar.
Yeah, which is cool because live music. What it means is live music is coming back, which is what it was originally.
But it is a really, really hard life, and it really there's got to be a balance there. The name of this album is called The Gray Eastern.
That's the name of the project, yeah.
Yeah, what a cool name. Did she come up with that?
Yeah, I think we all were sitting around. I can't remember. But it always gets to the point where you're like, oh, we got to make a name because this is a project, 5-song EP. And it's definitely melancholy lyrics and a little yearning and
emotionally. And then that one tune, the third tune that we're going to listen to today is "Take Back Your Heart."
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that is such an incredible, friggin'.
Great lyrics.
Yeah, and it's such a chick song. Yep. I mean, when it started, I was like, I could just see every girl I've known in my entire life jumping up and shaking their hair, and singing this song with her.
Yep.
Especially the chorus.
Yeah, Jess has that. She's got that ability. She's a great writer. Writer. And
it must have been really cool working with her.
Yeah, I want to work with her again. We're going to do something.
Maybe she'll hear this on the radio and she'll go,
"Yeah, man,
Eric, what was up with that? Who's that dude?"
I know. I'm going to tell her.
Another project.
She'll be so happy.
Well, turn her on to where I archive it on the HollywoodandHollywild.com website.
Yeah,
because the show will be there.
Sure.
Show number 5.
Sure.
All right, cool. So
play something,
Yeah. So I'm going to play the first one we're going to hear is "Breaking Me Down."
Yep.
And then the second song that we're going to be hearing is called "Hope."
Yep.
And then the chick song, which is "Take Back Your Heart."
Yep.
And then the last song that we're going to hear is "Voyeur" and "Starlet."
Yep.
And
thank you.
Yeah, that's that's always an interesting dynamic to hear how people create art around it and stuff like that. So
yeah, thank you.
Well, listen, maybe next week we can find another great female vocalist that we could talk about.
Oh God, sure.
All right,
I got projects that I'm working on. I'll play you some stuff as always.
All right, excellent. Yeah. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, David.
Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week. This next song that we're going to be hearing is called "Breaking Me Down," and it's with the vocalist Jess Furman and Eric and Pete on guitars. All right, enjoy.
Thank you.
There's a hole in your heart that I speak to. Feel it echo inside as I slip through. With every breath that you breathe, leaving less there of me than before. There's your skin against mine in the silence. Feel you looking at me, you don't notice. As these seconds slip by, I'm this ghost by your side, falling from you. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't just lay there, say nothing at all. I need to hear more. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? If I sit up in bed, will you see me? Place my feet on the floor, would you stop me? Or with glazed over eyes and diminished surprise, think you're only dreaming. A bittersweet gesture to hold you, met with little response, I can't break through. The space taking hold doesn't linger, it grows, I can't fight it alone. That you're breaking me down. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't just lay there, say nothing at all. I need to hear more. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't just lay there, say nothing at all. I need to hear more. nothing but this bed we made. No, just recalling the dark, waking us from where we are. Just me holding on to you. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't just lay there, say nothing at all. I need to hear more. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't just lay there, say nothing at all. I need to hear more. Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't you know that you're breaking me down? Don't you know you're breaking me down?
This is KRYZ Radio 98.5 LPFM and KRYZradio.org. I'll be meeting my next guest at the same time you will. I know a lot of the same people in the literary world that she does, and I hear her name come up all the time in the most flattering of ways. Let's find out why Samantha Dunn is so cool to hang out with. Thank you for coming on to Hollywood and Holly Wild and sharing.
Well, it's certainly my pleasure to be invited. Thanks, Dave.
You're part of this phenomenally cool group of people that I know in the literary world in Los Angeles. And interestingly enough, have we ever met in person? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have. I've just heard legend of Dave.
Legend. I've heard the same legend stories from you, too. Let's share with our audience what you actually do.
What do I actually do? Well, my day job is as executive editor for Coast Magazine here in Orange County. It is we call it the prestige magazine of Orange County. Imagine town and country for Orange County. That's kind of what we are.
Okay, cool.
And so my day job has always been as a journalist. I started in newspapers when I was just in high school, and my degree is in journalism. Well, one of my degrees is in journalism. And so that's my baseline. That was my writing program, journalism. And so then, of course, I have also written books. I've acted as a book editor. I've acted as a ghostwriter for numerous titles that I can't tell you about. And I also, the other part of my life is to teach. I've been teaching memoir, specifically memoir and personal essay, for a very, very long time, more than a decade now.
I'm almost afraid to ask you what you think of my essays on my website. Tell me you haven't read them.
That is a terrible question. I have not read them.
Oh, good. That's
I'm
actually
sure
the best.
Dave.
That's the best scenario answer for me. Is that you haven't read them? Then
You
then we don't have
want
to talk
on-air
about.
critique?
No.
Dave?
Oh my
You really want
gosh.
on-air critique.
Actually, I'm not bad with that. You know, in my industry, I get treated like crap all the time. And you know, because I'm just the voiceover guy. But
Right.
You know, somebody was telling me, you know, I got told no for, you know, a job interview, and I'm so bummed out. And I'm like, really? I get told no like all the time.
Every day, all the
God,
time.
like loads of times. Back when
the condition.
back when I first got started, I would do like 120 auditions in a week, and I'd be told no 120 times. So yeah,
Right.
So you just get over that.
I'm
really
always
quick.
incredibly in awe of the fortitude of my actor friends.
The eternal hope.
Acting, voiceover acting. Yeah, it's incredible. Listen, being a writer, you're very acquainted with no as well, but it's not directly personal. It's, I don't like your writing. It's not, I don't like your face, or I don't like the timbre of your voice.
Right. Or you remind me of my ex-wife, get out of here, you know, or yeah. I mean,
yes, exactly. Right? Oh, I'm sorry, you look too much like my mother. You can't possibly have this role. It's just crazy.
you sound like an old boyfriend. I've had people tell me that
Actually,
in an
Dave,
audition.
you do. I'm resisting it, but go ahead, carry on.
So tell us about what are some of the books you've read, wrote.
Blah blah blah.
I'm a professional
Some of the books
announcer.
I've read, I can tell. Don't try this at home, folks, because really, you need advanced skills. Well, my first book. I'm surprised you don't have it at the tip of your tongue, Dave.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh,
what's the matter with you?
I'm so swamped right now. You
No,
have
I'm
no
kidding.
idea.
I'm giving you
Uh,
crap.
uh,
So my first book came out many moons ago, 2 decades ago. It was a novel by the title of Failing Paris, and it is a work of literary fiction. It was a finalist for the Penn Award, these many moons ago. And
Wow.
interestingly, it was published by a at that time new press called the Toby Press, and their genius idea in the late 1990s was to forego this whole bookstore thing and drive and sell books directly to the consumer. Now, that was
I sold vacuum cleaners that way. Yeah, that's a rough road right there.
it was right. I mean, before the advent of anything like Amazon or anything, this was their idea. And my agent at the time, a very wonderful, well-regarded agent, Peter Matson of Sterling Lord Literaristic. At that point, Dave, you're supposed to say ooh and
Wow,
ah
yeah.
because he's one of these. Yeah, thank you.
Super
He's one
big
of these
guy.
iconic. Super big guy. The novel was being shopped at a variety of different places, and it was getting the same response. Beautiful writing, we love it, but we don't think we will have success with this. So we love you, but we hate you,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And he was going to the second tier of publishing houses at that point when he was propositioned essentially by the Toby Press. It was funded by a multi-millionaire industrialist who was located in England and in Tel Aviv, and had this idea for this new publishing venture. So he said, "Hey, you want to try it? They're going to put obscene amounts of money toward advertising, and the good news is your book will be advertised in a way that no other publisher at this point would advertise it." So I said, "Well, why not?" And so that was an interesting road.
And was it successful?
Anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. No, it wasn't. Well, it was. Let me take that back. It wasn't commercially successful at all. But then again, what literary novels really are?
Yeah.
Very few. And but it did make a dent critically and put me on the map in a different kind of way. And so after that, I had started another novel. But then I had the great good fortune. You know how they always say break a leg in Hollywood?
Right.
Well, I did that in style. I was trampled by my horse in a canyon in Malibu. Yeah, and he all but severed my leg. And so I say that because then I had something really direct to write about. And
yeah.
So yeah, it was a kind of a big thing. And now, you get a kick out of this. The man who saved me was Edward Lawrence Albert, who you might not remember his name, but you know his father, Eddie Albert.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Right. Well,
So you were on the
was,
trail up there, and then this happened, and he came up on you?
Yeah, it's a long story. I wrote a book about it. It was really incredibly dramatic. My rescue was incredibly dramatic. If Edward hadn't, it's a long story. Again,
Well, I mean,
a book. But if I hadn't cried out at the moment that I cried out, and he and his daughter Thais hadn't heard me as they were coming out of their stable, theirs was the last building before the canyon really opened up into the
Samantha.
trail. That would have been it, because I was bleeding out. So it was
Wow.
there were helicopters and the whole deal, and it was a very dramatic story. So
What's
as
the name
I'm
of
in
the book?
hospital, it's called Not by Accident: Reconstructing a Careless Life, and that was quite a success for me. Let me just back up and say that is a memoir. And I never intended to write a memoir. I never, ever intended to write a memoir, because I'm one of those journalists who always had, the dream of being a novelist. in the Hemingway tradition, right?
Right.
And so then when I'm in the hospital, everybody keeps asking me about this incredible story of how I'm rescued. And so I write this essay, and I write that essay from my hospital bed because, let's face it, we're artists, we need money, I'll take the gig. And it got to critical mass where my agent said, listen, you should really write a memoir.
Okay,
and
so
I said,
we're writing a memoir.
Yeah, we're right, but I didn't want to. I didn't know what a memoir was even. I mean, I had vague understandings of, personal stories, but I still thought that memoir as a form was something that old white guys wrote when they were wanting to relive the glory of their youth. And anyway, so I started on the journey of understanding what personal narrative was, and really that book is in conversation with a larger question of what does it mean to be accident prone? Because this was the worst, but certainly not the only accident of my life. Part of that is a factor of riding horses all your life and being of a certain, drunken Irish family. It's part of the territory.
Just got a thumbs up from Kevin. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Let's hear it for that.
Yeah, he's a ginger.
But yeah. Oh, well, me too.
Yeah, I know.
Yay, Kevin. But I'm half Italian. It's the worst of both worlds. So that book is really in conversation with this larger question where I'm again a journalist researching the idea of what is the cause of accidents. If you're accident prone, what does that mean? And so I weave in my own personal journey of recovery from that accident with this larger question. And that book was I like to say my career date is like a bottle rocket. It kind of took off straight up in the air and then just
get a good
didn't
boom
do much else.
And then that's
that was pretty
and
much
then everybody's
it.
like, okay, I guess we'll go home and have some hot chocolate.
Okay, that's exactly right. And then after that, a few years after that, I wrote a book. It might not seem like it links, but it does. It's called Faith in Carlos Gomez, and the subtitle is A Memoir of Salsa, Sex, and Salvation. So basically, the girl with the metal leg learns to salsa dance and speak Spanish.
Oh, sweet.
So, there you go.
And you're still living the ranch life now too. That's something that we share in common.
Yeah, once, I was brought up with that, and it's always been part of my life. Yeah, you just make decisions to do that,
Yeah. We're going to take a short break and hear another song from Jess Furman with Eric playing guitar. This is Hope from the EP The Gray Eastern.
Sleepwalk from the boulevard, a dirt path into the dark. No light, just stars. No peace from where we are, as if you're even there at all. As if you're even there at all. Feel it pulling us along. Faith calls, it slows us down to stop and stay until it's found. As if you're even there at all. As if you're even there at all.
And now, back to this fun conversation I'm having with Samantha Dunn. Let me ask you a question here. What kind of really gem of knowledge do you wish you would have had in the early part of your career that, you either, you use or realize in the daily expression of your art, that you didn't know when you were younger, just because, when you're young and you're starting out, you don't know nothing.
Right. Well, what I wish I'd known that would have saved me from tremendous suffering and a lot of wasted angst is the idea that this is truly not a race and that there's not a finish line, that no one is ahead really of anybody else. I assumed that I needed to be a New York Times bestselling author or that I had failed somehow. And I spent a lot of my early youth certainly striving, but also being racked with this sense of inadequacy when I would see friends, quote unquote, succeed over me, get attention or commercial validation that I wasn't getting. And that was incredibly painful and very destructive. And it took me a long time to realize that we're all just shining our light. And the fact that we even get to write or to do whatever part of art we do is really an amazing thing. And you never know where your work is going to resonate. You never know who needs your work. Your only job is your job is just to make art.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. You have to divest yourself of what else that means.
Yeah.
And I think that's a hard thing to learn, but it's an important thing to learn.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can get really twisted and stop.
Yeah, Amanda was talking about the same thing, the reticence of writers to be able to say the statement, I am a writer. Now let's talk about something fun. Horses.
Yes.
Did you know that I was a stunt rider for a while?
Get out!
No.
No way!
Dead serious. I did vaulting. I did, not only did I do tilting at the Renaissance Pleasure Fair, which was like big fun.
Get out.
Yeah, and I was really, really good at it. And then I opened up Medieval Times in Orange County.
Oh my God. And you got to ride all those beautiful Andalusians?
Yeah.
And you got to...
Yeah. Yeah, we went through, this was my riding day when we were in rehearsals. I was there warmed up to get into the saddle at 6:30. We'd ride one horse for an hour, hard. Then we'd ride another horse for an hour, hard. Then
Right.
I would go through 6 horses in a single show, and 6 horses, during rehearsals. And we did everything from broadsword fights, meeting each other, down along a hitching post, and slashing at each other.
I know the routine.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I've taken my son there. No,
Yeah.
I love, and it was more for me than it was for him. I love all that, and the
the lance.
oh my gosh,
throwing the
Cavalia?
spear from the thing, and
love it. That's a dream.
oh yeah, a dream.
No, I grew up. Oh, I can't. So, did you grow up riding classical
No.
equitation seat? How did
No.
you grow up riding?
This is the
You
best.
didn't.
So, I'm working with this guy who wants to be my personal manager way back early in the days. And this was when I was like, I was an MC at Marineland. You remember Marineland?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was working at Marineland in the Dolphin Arena, and I was doing the MC show. I was MC for the world's greatest high diving team. We had a 100-foot ladder that went up to a platform that was just big enough for you to stand on, with your toes hanging over the edge. And then these guys would do these incredible dives from the top. And so then my manager says, I got another big job for you. The Renaissance Pleasure Fair is looking for an MC for their tournament of horse. And I was like, oh, I could kill that. Because I was really big into Shakespeare, and I've been improvising Shakespeare since I was like 12 or 13 years old. So I was like, yeah, man, I can eat that up. So I went out there and I auditioned as the MC, and they were like, wow, you're better than the last guy that we had last year, but we might be getting him back. And I was like, then why are you doing auditions for this? Then he was like, can you ride a horse? And I was like, yeah, of course I can ride a horse. I was born on a horse. And I'm, because in acting, when everybody asks you if you can do anything, you always say yes. And so they put me. They're like, we're going to get you a horse, and we'll test you out. And I hear this one guy underneath his breath go, "Saddle up, Trogorth, yeah, saddle him up." And he's like, "Why?" And he was like, "He's been out at pasture for 2 years. He hadn't had a saddle on him. If we can get him a saddled up, and get somebody to actually cinch it tight, put him on there, and we'll see how good he rides." So about 35 minutes later, they called me over, and they were like, "We got a horse for you to ride. This is Trogarth." And I walked up to him, and I was like, "Hi, boy." And he kind of leaned back like, "What are you standing so close to me for?" And he kind of swung up into the saddle, and that was the beginning of the fireworks show. And it was, it was like a solid 20 minutes in the arena, me trying to get him to settle down, and he he couldn't get me out of the saddle, and they were like,
"But back up,
you're hired."
But back up. So, are you extremely athletic, or had you really ridden before?
No, I'm really athletic. I did a lot of construction in my early days of acting and stuff, and so I had a strong upper body. I was a gymnast. I was in entertainment. I've got dance classes. I took 2 years of ballet so that I could play puck.
That makes total sense. So, right. So you have that core control. So you were able to ride that. Okay, makes sense.
Once I figured out, so your heels go down, I was like, okay, that is a lot easier. And then I rode all kinds. I rode English, Western. We had at the medieval times, they ride Spanish saddles.
Right. No, that's what I mean. The classical equitation seat. Yes.
Have you ever sat in one of those?
Oh, yes.
It's like a lazy boy.
Yes.
It's like a lazy boy. It's got, foam in the seat, and I rode so many different horses at that show. And the Andalusian is of all the horses I've ridden. And if somebody said, "Dave, we're going to give you a horse, what do you want?" I'd pick a quarter horse.
You would? That's funny.
Yeah, because I did a bunch of barrel riding, and barrel riding was the most fun. So
much fun.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And pulling, what do they call it?
I did that as a kid.
11 stops. Yeah, and you want to talk about being in great shape. I mean, I had a body that I couldn't believe when I was riding we were riding
Yep.
7.5 hours every day by 12:30.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
crazy.
I've done I did endurance riding when I was a kid. Well, when I was a kid, I can't
Gymkhana?
even remember being inside. I did gymkhana, I did pole bending, I did barrels. We did a little goat tying, although I wasn't very good at that. And then, though, when I came to Los Angeles, that's when I got into a little bit the hunter jumper, but really dressage took my heart, and that's what I was
Yeah.
deeply involved in up until my accident.
Yeah. I'll
And
tell you the
then,
funny story about
yeah.
me getting on a cattle drive and trying to keep my riding skills quiet. And the guy that was leading it, the rancher that was leading the cattle thing, he was like, came walking over and he was like, "You can ride, can't you?" And I was like, no, it just looked like, he was like, "You can ride." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, what kind of riding you do? And I told him I was at medieval times in the Renaissance Fair. And he was like, "Excellent. I need somebody to run up, what do you call them? Strays."
Strays.
Yeah, well, I need somebody to go run and get all the strays, and you can do that for me today. And I was like, "Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Did I
That's
pay
a
you
lot
to
of
come
fun.
here and work this?" Yeah, it was big fun. Well, listen, I want to have you back so that we can have another conversation.
Yes.
Okay, groovy. Thank you,
Well,
Samantha
thanks for the
Dunn.
invitation, Dave.
The first time I heard this song, I could see all my girlfriends in my entire life dancing and singing it with Jess. You'll hear what I mean. This next cool chick song from the EP, The Grey Eastern, called "Take Back Your Heart."
We didn't think about this life back then. No. We didn't think about the last page, the start this end. Made me a little bit wiser, a little bit higher, a little bit wiser. Let us be still. Little did we know words are taking hold. That's what fills our souls. Watch us grow apart. Take back your heart. Take back your heart. How could we have known? Reaching for the lone, searching through the dark. Those missing parts. Take back your heart. Take back your heart. You ask me if I dream at night. I'm dreaming all the time. You ask me if I think of us. Truth is all the time. Little did we know, trail was growing cold, nothing left to show. Before you go, take back your heart. Take back your heart. Take back your heart. How could we have known, feeling so alone, reaching through the dark? Those missing parts. Take back your heart.
Okay. So I get this copy from my agent, and it's a mortgage bank. And I don't like them because I lost my house to them in the last economic fiasco that they caused. So let me just make sure that I can do this without saying the name. Okay. And this copy I got after the economy was destroyed through mortgage banking. The American, okay, I'm just going to read the copy and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to try to fix it. The American dream is a nightmare. American history is the history of the terrifying thing being the thing we have to do. Cross that ocean, walk on the moon, start $1 billion enterprise in your garage. None of this makes sense. And all of it makes perfect sense. Sensible doesn't get you far around here. So basically, you're going to have to act crazy to get noticed. Our absurd self-belief makes this whole thing go. Somehow it works, so maybe it is the right thing. Let's build a 700-foot wall in the middle of a river. I'm just reading the copy. Let's move to Detroit during the worst recession in 80 years. They wrote this, not me. Let's sign a 30-year mortgage on a house. Sometimes the things we're not supposed to do is the things we're supposed to do. Wow, they flipped the switch on that one, huh? This terrifying adventure called America that made you possible? Commit to it. It's time to crawl out of your snuggies. Oh, we're a bunch of wimps now. And put on our grown-up pants and buy in. Okay. So, they want a conversational guy, but are they really selling it to the poor man? No. Are they selling it to even the middle class? No. This is not about, this is selling mortgages, but it's not about, a family getting into a home. This is actually directed towards the person that's wealthy enough to go back in and buy now that everything is low. So really the way it should sound, because you've probably already heard it on TV, with somebody that's already massaged you, this is how it probably should sound. The American dream is a nightmare. American history is the history of the terrifying thing being the thing that we have to do. Cross that ocean, walk on that moon, start $1 billion enterprise in your mother's garage. None of this makes sense, and it all makes perfect sense. I mean, sensible doesn't get you far around here. Our absurd self-belief makes this whole thing go. Let's build a 700-foot wall in the middle of a river. Let's move to Detroit during the worst recession in 80 years. Let's sign a 30-year mortgage on a house. Sometimes the things we're not supposed to do is the thing that we're supposed to do. This terrifying adventure called America that made you possible. Commit to it, dude. It's time to crawl out of your snuggies, put on your grown-up pants, and let's buy in. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? But those are the words. And it probably sounded more like this. The American dream is a nightmare. American history is the history of the terrifying thing being the thing we have to do. Cross that ocean. Walk on that moon. Start $1 billion enterprise in your mother's garage. None of this makes sense, and all of it makes perfect sense. Sensible doesn't get far around here. Our absurd self-belief makes this whole thing go. Let's build a 700-foot wall in the middle of the river. Let's move to Detroit during the worst recession in 80 years. Let's sign a 30-year mortgage on a house. Sometimes the things we're not supposed to do is the thing we're supposed to do. This terrifying adventure called America that made you possible? Commit to it. It's time to crawl out of our snuggies and put on our grown-up pants and buy in. That's probably how you really heard it. This next song with Jess Furman and Eric Skirmahorn, called Voyeur and Starlet.
I know what you're thinking, I'm inside your head. Voices like an angel, devil in your bed. We don't have to be sorry, throw the white flag down, kiss away your worries, no one's around. Think nothing of the world outside, there's nothing but this place. And everything outside this room is gone. And there's nothing but the way you feel. There's nothing to escape. There's nothing of the things we've done no wrong. Your camera at every angle, but this innocence. Your old age silent movie over and starlet. Do you spend each hour breathless for my touch? Every waking moment dizzied by the rush. You don't have to be sorry, and no one has to know the depth of this obsession taking hold. Think nothing of the world outside, there's nothing but this place. And everything outside this room is gone. And there's nothing but the way you feel. There's nothing to escape. There's nothing of the things we've done no wrong. Your camera at every angle, but this innocence. Dim the lights from white to black. Oh, young and starlit. Your camera at every angle, burn this innocence. Dim the lights on. Film your old age silent movie over and starlet. Your camera at every angle, burn this innocence. Your old age silent movie, blur on silhouette. Take your lens and look right through me. Take all I have left. The lights from white to black. Oh, young and starlit.
Well, that's all we have time for.